The Boston Celtics fan base is currently experiencing a massive wave of anger and frustration. The summer started with high hopes of acquiring a superstar player. Those dreams completely shattered when the pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo failed. Adding salt to that open wound was the shocking departure of Jaylen Brown. The front office decided to trade their homegrown star to the Philadelphia 76ers. Sending a franchise cornerstone to a direct division rival is a bitter pill to swallow. Emotions are running incredibly high across the entire city of Boston right now. Many supporters are openly questioning the ultimate direction of the franchise. It is completely understandable why fans feel betrayed by this sudden transaction. Time heals all wounds in the chaotic world of professional sports. We have to remember who is making these massive decisions behind the scenes. Brad Stevens has a long history of executing complex strategies that eventually lead to massive success. His extensive track record suggests that he knows exactly what he is doing with this roster. We should all wait patiently to see the final product on the basketball court. But one thing is absolutely certain about the head of basketball operations. Brad Stevens never fails to completely entertain the fan base during the summer months. He refuses to sit back and watch other organizations improve around him. His aggressive approach to roster building has been apparent from the very first day. Let us take a trip down memory lane to look at his very first executive moves. When he transitioned from the coaching bench to the front office, he wasted absolutely no time. He immediately traded away Kemba Walker to bring Al Horford back to town. That specific decision sounded quite silly to many basketball analysts at the time. People heavily questioned the logic of bringing back an aging veteran center. They vividly remembered his disastrous tenure playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. Most critics completely ignored the solid half-season Horford played in Oklahoma City. Stevens saw the hidden value and executed the deal flawlessly. That single trade completely changed the defensive identity and tactical structure of the team. People also tend to forget the absolute chaos of his first year in charge. The summer of 2021 featured an incredible amount of roster shifting. Stevens moved multiple players around before finally settling on his preferred rotation. He executed a trade to acquire Josh Richardson from the Dallas Mavericks. He then completely cleared out the center position by trading away Tristan Thompson. These moves confused a lot of casual viewers who did not see the grand vision taking shape. He followed those moves by signing veteran point guard Dennis Schroeder to a bargain contract. He also traded for defensive specialist Chris Dunn. He eventually traded Dunn away for Juancho Hernangomez in a dizzying series of constant transactions. No one knew what to make of what Boston was doing with all these rapid changes. The roster looked like a massive jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces, but the underlying strategy was built on creating elite financial flexibility and defensive versatility. The ultimate vindication for those chaotic moves arrived just 1 year later. That newly constructed roster fought its way through the Eastern Conference bracket. They found themselves just 2 wins away from hoisting the championship trophy. Most executives would have simply decided to run the exact same team back for another season. They would have trusted the internal development of their young stars. But Stevens is not like most executives, and he refused to settle for second place. He decided to strike while the iron was incredibly hot. He aggressively targeted veteran scorers to bolster the bench unit. He signed sharpshooter Danilo Gallinari to space the floor and punish opposing second units with his elite offensive skill. He then pulled off a shocking trade to acquire Malcolm Brogdon from the Indiana Pacers. Absolutely no one in the national media thought Brogdon was even on the radar for Boston. It was a stealth move that perfectly addressed a massive roster flaw. Sadly, the basketball gods can be incredibly cruel sometimes. Gallinari suffered a severe injury while playing overseas and never got to take the floor as a Celtic. His absence severely damaged the offensive ceiling of the second unit all year. Many experts believe his elite shooting may have been the ultimate difference maker in the 2023 playoffs. Boston eventually got ousted again, and the disappointment lingered over the city. But Stevens immediately got back to work. He showed the entire league that he refuses to let sentiment get in the way of his business decisions. He made the most difficult choice of his entire executive career. He decided to trade away fan favorites Marcus Smart and Robert Williams. Losing the heart and soul of the team was a devastating blow to the local fan base. People were not too thrilled about watching Smart pack his bags for Memphis, but the incredible return package completely altered the future of the franchise. Stevens magically acquired Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday in 2 separate blockbuster deals. It did not take very long for the angry fans to get over their initial heartbreak. They quickly realized how much higher the ceiling was for Boston. Adding an elite rim protector who can shoot from 30 feet out made the offense truly unstoppable. Combining that with the incredible perimeter defense of Holiday created a juggernaut. We all know exactly what those massive risks led to. If you are enjoying this deep dive into the history of the front office, please make sure to like the video and subscribe for more daily basketball content. Your support helps us continue to provide these detailed roster breakdowns all summer long. Ironically enough, Stevens had his most boring summer directly after winning Banner 18. He simply focused on bringing back almost every single piece of the title-winning team. He rewarded the players who finally brought the trophy back home. The most engaging subplots of that quiet summer involved deep bench players. Fans spent hours debating whether Oshae Brissett was coming back to the team. They also argued over whether the front office should try to keep Lonnie Walker IV. Those minor storylines dominating the local news cycle proves a massive point. It highlights the incredible embarrassment of riches that Boston accumulated under Stevens. The roster was completely stacked from top to bottom with elite talent. Of course, every massive party eventually has to come to an end. The strict financial rules of the new collective bargaining agreement finally caught up to the team. The massive luxury tax penalties threatened to completely paralyze the franchise. But even when the financial walls started closing in, Stevens simply cracked his knuckles and went to work. He masterfully navigated the complex salary cap rules to get the team under the second tax apron. And he did it without losing a first-round pick. Those financial moves definitely made the overall roster slightly worse on paper. But he was operating in a desperate situation where he truly had no other choice. He still managed to put the organization in a great position going forward. Time will eventually tell if his grand master plan is actually a good one. Which brings us directly to the current state of the franchise right now. Boston finds its place in the league hierarchy as completely up in the air as it was 5 years ago. The Eastern Conference has become an absolute bloodbath of elite contenders. Teams are loading up on superstar talent to challenge for the ultimate crown. Even so, Stevens never fails to capture the attention of the entire league with his aggressive moves. For everything he has done over the years, he has never once just sat on his hands. He constantly searches for any tiny advantage that can help his team win basketball games. Now he has assembled a completely new cast of veteran characters to integrate. He somehow managed to acquire Paul George in the massive Jaylen Brown blockbuster trade, which is an elite two-way wing player who likely has a massive chip on his shoulder right now. He wants to prove to the world that he can still win a ring. He also brought in Mitchell Robinson to anchor the interior defense. Joining the Celtics helps the team address a massive weakness in rebounding. It also carries the incredible added bonus of directly hurting the rival New York Knicks. He even traded for veteran point guard Mike Conley to add steady leadership. People might ask why he would target an aging guard at this stage of his career. The simple answer is that Conley rarely makes mistakes in pressure situations. We honestly will not know if this crazy new experiment will actually work out for the team. The chemistry might take several months to develop on the court. But the players absolutely deserve a fair chance to prove what Stevens is actively cooking. It is just another chaotic edition of the epic summer experience that Stevens provides. He continuously subjects the local fan base to an emotional roller coaster every year. He operates purely on logic and completely ignores outside noise. This ruthless methodology is exactly what separates average executives from true visionaries. He understands that the ultimate goal is winning championships and nothing else matters. Fan attachments to specific players are secondary to the grand vision. Trading for Paul George provides elite shooting and veteran playoff experience. George can seamlessly space the floor for Jayson Tatum while reducing defensive pressure. Their combined perimeter length will be an absolute nightmare for opponents. Mitchell Robinson brings a physical presence inside that the team desperately needed. He will clean up the defensive glass and create extra possessions with his elite rebounding. His lob threat ability adds a vertical dynamic to the playbook. Mike Conley will serve as the ultimate calming presence during chaotic fourth quarters. He knows exactly how to organize an offense and deliver the basketball to the right spots. His unselfish nature perfectly fits the modern offensive system in Boston. The departure of Jaylen Brown will undoubtedly sting for a very long time. He poured his heart and soul into the city and helped hang a banner in the rafters. But the reality of the harsh salary cap forced the front office to make an agonizing choice. Instead of watching the roster slowly decay under heavy tax penalties, Stevens pivoted. He extracted massive value by securing established veterans and future draft capital. He reset the financial clock while keeping a highly competitive roster. This delicate balancing act is incredibly rare to see in professional sports today. Most teams either go all in for a title or completely tear the roster down to rebuild. Stevens is attempting to thread the needle and accomplish both goals simultaneously. He is trying to keep the championship window wide open for Jayson Tatum right now. At the exact same time, he is securing valuable assets to build the next iteration of the team. It is a brilliant strategy that requires nerves of absolute steel to execute. The upcoming regular season will be a fascinating case study in team chemistry and coaching. The staff must figure out how to maximize the talents of these new veteran additions. The pressure to succeed immediately will be heavier than ever before. Every game will be heavily scrutinized by the media and the passionate fan base. Early struggles will be met with intense criticism and lingering questions about the summer trades. But this organization has proven they can handle heavy pressure. Brad Stevens has built a resilient culture that thrives under the brightest spotlights. He trusts his meticulous evaluation process and refuses to panic when things get difficult. He knows that building a true dynasty requires making unpopular decisions. The current mood in the city might be filled with anger and deep confusion, but history tells us to trust the man steering the ship through these turbulent waters. He has earned the benefit of the doubt through his incredible past success. We are all eagerly waiting for the ball to finally tip off on the new season. The revamped roster will have a massive target on their backs from day one. It promises to be one of the most exciting and unpredictable campaigns in recent memory. Hate it or love it, you simply cannot deny the absolute entertainment value of this front office. Brad Stevens will always keep us guessing, and he will never let the team become stagnant. The bold pursuit of greatness demands nothing less than absolute courage. Let us explore a hypothetical scenario where this completely revamped roster clicks immediately. Imagine Paul George returning to his elite defensive form alongside Jayson Tatum. Opposing offenses would find it impossible to score on the perimeter. They would be able to switch every single screen without creating any favorable mismatches. If a guard tries to attack the paint, they will immediately meet Mitchell Robinson at the rim. This defensive infrastructure could easily become the best in the league. On the offensive side of the ball, the spacing would be absolutely incredible to watch. Mike Conley would expertly navigate the pick and roll to find open shooters in the corners. The sheer volume of elite three-point shooting would overwhelm most opponents. This specific roster construction perfectly counters the current trends in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks and 76ers invested heavily in massive physical centers. Boston now has the proper interior size to match up with those dominant big men. Let us look at the broader implications of the shocking Jaylen Brown trade. Sending him to Philadelphia directly strengthens the biggest threat in the conference. It sets the stage for a truly epic playoff collision course between the two rivals. Brown will undoubtedly have those matchups circled on his calendar all year long. He will want to prove that the front office made a massive mistake by giving up on him. The emotional intensity of those games will be absolutely off the charts. This trade also sends a very clear message to the rest of the players on the roster. It proves that absolutely no one is completely safe from being moved in the right deal. Only Jayson Tatum is viewed as a permanent foundational piece for the future. This front office ruthlessness can actually have a positive psychological effect. It forces every single player to remain focused and constantly prove their worth. Complacency is the enemy of success, and Stevens has completely eliminated it. Looking ahead to the trade deadline, Stevens positioned the team beautifully. By staying under the second tax apron, he retained crucial flexibility. He can easily package future draft picks to acquire more bench depth if the roster needs it later. The ability to aggregate salaries in a trade is a massive weapon that most contenders lack right now. The front office can act as a buyer while other teams are shedding salary. This structural advantage cannot be overstated in the modern landscape. The genius of Brad Stevens lies in his ability to see 3 steps ahead. While fans react emotionally to the loss of a beloved star today, Stevens is already calculating how this precise move sets up the entire roster for the next 5 years. He understands the ultimate goal is not just to win one single championship, it's to establish a decade of dominance that produces multiple titles. Achieving that rare status requires constant evolution and difficult roster sacrifices. He learned exactly what a championship roster looks like from his time on the sidelines. Now he uses that knowledge to ruthlessly construct the perfect team. We must also consider a scenario where the new additions struggle with injuries. Paul George and Mitchell Robinson both have histories of missing significant games. If they are forced to miss time, the team depth will be severely tested. This is exactly why retaining financial flexibility was such a massive priority. If the injury bug strikes, they have the available tools to find emergency replacements. They are not trapped with a stagnant and incredibly expensive basketball roster. The broader implications of the failed Giannis pursuit deserve deep analysis. The fact that Boston was even in the conversation shows their incredible ambition. It proves ownership is fully committed to fielding a dominant championship contender. Even though they missed out on the superstar, the pursuit forced other teams to react. It artificially drove up the price that the Miami Heat eventually had to pay. This subtle market manipulation is a true hallmark of a brilliant front office. By forcing rivals to empty their asset chests, Stevens indirectly weakens their future. The Heat are now completely locked into their current roster for the foreseeable future. If their massive gamble fails, they will have absolutely no way to pivot. Boston sits back with a revamped roster and a treasure chest of future draft picks. They are perfectly positioned to strike again whenever the next superstar demands a trade. This endless cycle of asset management is the key to sustained success. Fans will eventually appreciate the brilliant execution of this chaotic summer. Once the initial shock wears off, the sheer logic of the roster construction will become obvious. The team is now much better equipped to handle the heavy playoff grind. The veteran additions bring a level of maturity and composure that cannot be easily measured. They will mentor younger players and help establish a professional culture. This intangible value is often the absolute difference in tight playoff games. Let television critics complain about the controversial Jaylen Brown trade. Let rival fans celebrate the perceived sudden downfall of the Boston Empire. The actual reality of the situation is completely different than the prevailing public narrative. Brad Stevens successfully executed another brilliant masterclass in modern team building. He navigated the difficult financial landscape with absolute precision. He kept the championship dream alive while securely protecting the long-term future. We are about to witness a truly fascinating basketball experiment attempted in Boston. The unique blend of established superstars and hungry veterans creates an incredibly compelling product. The journey to hang banner 19 has officially begun. It will be a massive challenge to conquer the brutal Eastern Conference gauntlet. With Brad Stevens pulling the strings behind the curtain, anything is possible. Hate it or love it, he simply never fails to deliver absolute entertainment value.